Welcome to Comics on a Pyre, a channel to have a meaningful conversation over movies, life, books, and shows, and maybe just a spot to spend time BSing over comics. If you like your entertainment with a bit of substance, then you, my vagabond friend, have come to the right tavern. Tether your horse by the post and come right on in and warm yourself by the fire. Tap that subscribe button, and for the next few minutes, my fellow George Carlin reprobate, lend me your ear. Gotham City Monsters. 6 monstrous heroes, 1 multiversal threat. First of all, these guys on the cover, they're not heroes. And second, unless my eyes are deceiving me, I count 5 figures. Unless the ball flame in the background is a character. I don't know. Anyway, I do love when DC decides to display Batman's rogue gallery without the bat, giving its villains more time to shine, filling in their backstories while not personally fighting the Dark Knight. It makes them feel more authentic, as if they have a life of their own, instead of just standing on the sidelines waiting to be casted for a Batman appearance. With that said, comic aquanauts, let's begin. In a forgotten, spurned part of Gotham City, a neighborhood known as Monster Towns lay disheveled in the ruins due to the aftermath of a behemoth beast let loose by the good doctor known to the world at large as Hugo Strange. It is the only section of Gotham that is not under direct control of Bane. Perhaps it is too tiny a fiefdom to be worthy of his attention. But that is precisely why other, lesser deviants decide to call this place home. In this subsection of the city, a dark, towering cathedral stands defiant against its surrounding. This historic derelict house of worship was abandoned long ago. Its organ's pipes are congested with dust and have long since laid silent. But on this night, not all is what it seems. For within this house of worship, underneath its tattered altars of rituals, a clandestine egress bears access to a long-forgotten esoteric tunnel. Tunnels that are playing the host to a bedlam of butchery, as Andrew Bennett fights to reclaim his rightful position as head of a previous vampiric clan. He has been gone too long, and in his absence, a new ruler has laid claim to the throne. One more vicious and bloodthirsty. But Andrew is determined to find him, and when he does, slay him as well. Meanwhile, 7 blocks away, a retired parolee strolls the trash-strewn streets with nothing but an overstuffed duffel bag thrown over his shoulder. Waylon Jones, aka Killer Croc, checks into a familiar seedy hotel whose desk clerk he is more than acquainted with. The two talk about old times and past grievances before the Croc retires to his sleeping quarters. There, alone on his bed, he fantasizes on dreams to come. Down below his crummy roach-infested room, Sojo's pub is anything but a tranquil, quiet place to reminisce. The patrons are tattooed with bruises and scurry for their lives. Those left behind are either too drunk to move, sprawled on the floor unconscious by a blow, or seized tight under an iron vice-like grip. Herein is Frankenstein, an ex-shade which stands for Superhuman Advanced Defense Executive Operative. He is meting out justice to whomever he seems fit. Bitter over his current station in life, the undead man looks to feel something once again, even if that feeling is despair. Little does he know there are those waiting just outside his door to stir him once again of all emotions, to make him feel alive. Gotham Harbor, Several nautical knots out away from the coast, a battered ship fights the rising swells. One of its hand decks dangles over the edge, holding on for dear life, when something grips his leg from underneath the water surface. Instantly, what appears to be flesh becomes soft and pliable. A leg is severed, but the rest of the body also fades away as well. For when the brine liquid washes over his physique, it disseminates and becomes clay. If this was Grace Balin's, aka Orca's, intention at the time, that is unclear. With her work done, she retires to the confines of her watery den to ponder over more personal affairs. Meanwhile, flying high above Monster Town is the crewmate that seemed to disintegrate into the harbor. Only now she is in another form, her true form. Still hungry for the adventure, she seeps into the night, eager to see the show at hand. Meanwhile, just below the concrete beneath her feet, Frankenstein finds out some unsettling news. It seems a foe he long fought vanquished is planning a triumphant return from an inescapable exile. And if he has anything to say about it, he will be there to greet him with a bullet. And this is where I abandon the story's plot. To find out exactly what happens next, well, you're going to have to read this issue for yourself. What I will say is, as of now, it is unclear on exactly how these characters, Frankenstein, Bennett, Croc, Orca, and Lady Clayface, all play a part in the story. Frankenstein and Bennett seem to have a mutual enemy, but even they seem unable to work together. And again, read the end of the issue to find out exactly what I mean. There are a lot of unanswered questions in this first issue. Why did Frankenstein's blood recoil when he tried to touch it? Why did Mandrill warn Frankenstein of his master's coming if Mandrill knew Stein would just try to stop him? Unless the master needs an undead for his ritual. Did Orca mean to attack Lady Clayface? Or was this just coincidence? And who the HE double hockey stick is the sixth monster that the story is trying to talk about? Hopefully, in the next issue, more will be uncovered. Until then, check out my YouTube channel, Comics on the Pyre, for other videos like this one. Tap on that bell icon before you go. And oh yes, as always, until next time, keep reading, my friends.